Hi, my name is Charlie, and today I wanted to start a dialogue dealing with information and the current advertising landscape of today. And we'll start by defining the players in this. We'll start with the consumer first, and that would be you and me and anyone that purchases goods and services. And then we have the advertiser, and that would be any business that would want to place an advertisement. And then we have the advertising platform, and that would be anything that places an advertisement for a business and makes a profit off of that advertisement. I think a good example of these would be Google and Facebook, Twitter, certainly news, television programs. You have print advertisements, radio, anything that would essentially place an ad for a company is what we're talking about here. So before we get into it, let's come to the realization here that in 100 years, when people look back at our time, they most certainly will call this the information age. And the reason that is because in the 1970s, the computer was introduced to us. And essentially, computers have just been put everywhere. And what they do is take in information. That is their main purpose. And in fact, I would argue in today's day and age, you cannot leave your house without giving information away, very passively, of course. This is if you go to a point of sale system in a grocery store, you're giving away information. It's just what you do. You're giving away where you live just by shopping there, and they probably got your phone number somehow, and your email address is probably on file with them. It's just part of daily life today. I think if you wanted to not give your information away, if you just wanted to keep it to yourself, you would have to go into your bedroom and shut the door and put the blinds down and just pull out an old book and read that. So obviously it's not very practical to think about keeping your information to yourself in this day and age when computers are just all around us. So we can see the effects of this, and I think probably relating to what we want to talk about, the advertising landscape, is that our advertisements that we see are incredibly direct. I am a skier and a runner, and it's pretty amazing to see that the advertisements that I get are most certainly running shoe advertisements and ski equipment advertisements. So it's interesting. It's not necessarily a bad thing in the sense that the advertisements are at least somewhat relevant to me. I'm not getting advertisements that are targeted to a child, for instance, which is okay. But at the same time, we need to confront the fact that our information is out there, and the main question that we should probably ask is, does that have a value that my information is out there now? I would certainly point to the fact that now more than ever, people are living under the microscope. It's pretty undeniable when you turn on the news and you see stories about how the government can basically go to a cell phone carrier and ask for information if they suspect you of wrongdoing. It's pretty much there at beck and call for them. So that's one thing that maybe might suggest that my information has a little bit of value now that it's out there. And then, more importantly, I think it's important to realize that when your information is out there, people are going to make money off of that. And let's just dive right into it. I think the best example here is Facebook. When you put your information on there, your email address and your likes and where you live and who you talk to, companies that want to place advertisements on Facebook can cross-reference all of the information and essentially target advertisements in an unbelievable way. Let's say a resort has amassed the email addresses and the locations of all of their customers. Well, they can go to Facebook, and Facebook has all of that same information, and they just cross-reference it. And essentially, that's what makes Facebook a valuable thing. So the dilemma here is that people are providing information out there, and advertising platforms, I think, specifically make amazing profits. And it could certainly be argued that that is disproportionate to the people that are providing the information in the first place. In other words, a company like Facebook wouldn't have any value if I and everyone else decided not to put their information out there. We do, of course, because it's a convenient utility to connect with people, but you could certainly argue that that's kind of like selling your house for something trivial, like a piece of pizza. My information is pretty valuable to me, and when people are making money off of it, especially in the ways that a Google or Twitter or Facebook does, it's certainly at least eye-opening to me. So I was thinking about this little dilemma that we are in right now, and about 2 years ago I decided to see if maybe a website that actually gave a type of credit to the user for providing their information and for watching advertisements or being exposed to them would be a method to maybe dealing with this. And I started talking with a few people, and we actually started coming to the conclusion that it might not really need to be a website. The websites are already out there, but it might instead need to be the actual way that people go out into the world and interface with it. So essentially, we would be designing a medium so that when an advertisement got delivered to you, and it was delivered to you solely because you decided to give your email address to a hotel that you were checking into one time, that would be recognized, and you would actually get a little bit of profit or credit of some type. And we started thinking about the implications of what this might do, and it's actually pretty exciting to think about. For one, we could make the argument that the companies are actually building a better relationship with their target market, and it's pretty easy to see why. When you're spending marketing revenue and it's all going to a advertising platform as well, then you're just spending all that money to place the ad, and sure, it gets there, but what if we cut down the amount of money going to the advertising platform and instead directed some of that to the target market of the company. And essentially what you find is that you're emboldening the people that would go to your place, which is something that would be pretty great, I would say, especially in a time where so many people have very little buying power, very little disposable income. This could be something that actually encourages people to have a little bit more spending power in today's day and age. So you could definitely make the argument that this would help to at least get us economically developed, and it might even spur on economic growth. Maybe if more people have more buying power, then we can certainly start producing more and more goods. But it also might be interesting to think about the other implications of this, and perhaps if people can start getting a little bit of an income, basically just for having their information out there, for partaking in things that interest them, well, all of a sudden we have created a way for people to earn money based on doing what they want to do, which would be great. I'm an example where, if I was making a little bit of money on the side because my information is out there, and I develop a relationship with a sporting good company, and I can have more purchasing power to get the running shoes that I need and the running clothes that I need. Well, I can then focus a little bit more energy on that and less on my day-to-day job. So that could be exciting. It might lead to us changing the way we think about what it means to be a human in this world. And especially with the way technology is progressing, it certainly would appear that a lot of the jobs that are out there are going to be replaced. I think that in the future, a lot of the jobs that we're doing now just won't even make sense because of the technology that's out there, like perhaps a 3D printer being able to create houses is going to replace, the daily laborer. So we're going to have to start thinking about what it means to really be a human in this world. And if we can start to focus more on leisure and learning and that sort of thing, it could be something interesting. The main thing to consider here is that we have the technology right now to make the world whatever we want it to be. It's really just a matter of us deciding what, in fact, we want it to be. So with that, I'd be curious to hear your thoughts. Let me know what your ideas are, and I look forward to reading everything. Thank you.